Hi guys! In the last lecture we worked with path parameters. Today we will use query parameters. As you remember from the last lecture, we use query parameters to filter or sort results. Let's open documentation for the Get Booking IDs request and look at example number 2. Here you see that there are 4 different optional parameters that we can use to filter our results. First name, last name, check-in and check-out dates. Let's open Get Booking IDs test class and create new test called Get Booking IDs with filter test. So add test public void get booking IDs with filter test. And for right now, let's just copy code from our first test and paste it here. Ctrl-Shift-F to make it nicer and save. Now let's go back to the documentation. As you see here in the example, we can simply add query parameters to the URL. But as with path parameters, rest assured has a specific method that can add query parameters to the specification. So let's do both of this. First, let's copy this question mark first name Sally. So let's do just the first name. And here after /booking, let's just paste question mark first name Sally. Let's save and let's run our Get Booking IDs tests. As you see, our test failed. List of booking IDs is empty, but it should not be. But first test passed. So when we did not use filter, everything worked. Now let's look at the list of bookings. So we have huge list of bookings for the first test, but second test has empty list. So looks like someone renamed the first name or changed the first name is in one of those bookings where it should be Sally. That's why it failed. So let's change it to something else. I remember there was Susan. So instead of Sally, let's use Susan and see if it finds Susan. So get booking IDs, test, run as test and test. Okay, now test worked. If we go to console output, looks like there are 3 bookings where the first name is Susan. And when we do not use filter, the list is really big. So we can change the assertion to make sure that the list is not just not empty, but actually there are 3 items in the list. But you know, someone may change the first name in one of those and the test will start failing. But this is not important for us. Important is that now you guys know how to use path parameters directly in the URL. And now let's change that. Let's actually use request specification to add query parameters. So here let's add first comment, add query parameter. To specification, and we use spec dot query parameter. And here we just add parameter name, which is first name, and parameter value Susan, like so. And now we can remove this part here. So this part of the test stays the same. And let's run test now. And it should be exactly, the results of our test execution should be exactly the same as before. Both tests passed. Let's scroll up, and the same. 3 booking have first name Susan. And we can add more parameters. So spec dot query parameter. Let's add last name. So last name like here, Brown. Let's use Brown. So last name Brown. And let's see if there is Susan Brown. I'm just guessing. I'm not sure if one of those actually has the last name as Brown, but this is just my guess. So let's see if there is Susan Brown. No, looks like there is no Susan Brown, but we can actually run get booking test and change our booking ID. So instead of booking ID that we created, let's change it to 5, because one of those Susans was booking ID number 5. So let's save. So now when we run get booking test, it will return the booking number 5. So run as. We don't care if test worked. All we care about is the actual booking number 5. First name Jim. Okay, so someone just changed. So when we go back here and comment out our second parameters, booking ID number 5 should not be in a list of Susans. Oh, now list is empty. So now we do not have Susan at all. Someone changed the test, changed those bookings again. Well, this is what happens when you work with public APIs. Well, let's run this get booking test one more time, and let's do that Jim name. So get booking. Jim Smith. Okay, now let's fix this test back to the way it was, and here Jim Smith. So now in our list of bookings with first name Jim and last name Smith, we should have 1. Right click, run as, test ng test. Both tests passed, and now we have in console only number 5. But no, 5 or 7 or so minutes later, this test will be broken again because it will go to default Susan. But it's not important. The important part is that you guys should now know how to use query parameter, and as you see, you can use one or you can use few of them.